Look, when you've got headaches, migraines, chronic pain, chronic back pain, it's really, really important for you to have a very clear idea about what it is that you need to do to get the best outcome in the shortest possible time. Today on our Facebook Live video, I'm talking about the importance of having a treatment plan and actually how to follow it, how to make sure that you're getting the best out of the treatment plan, and also how to approach any issues that you have along the way. If you are joining me, type in below and say hello. Any questions that you've got, please let me know. But for today, basically I'm wanting to point out just a few things about how things should run if you have headaches, migraines and chronic pain. It's something that we have really developed into one of our finest skills here at the Headache and Pain Management Centre. So the previous model of medical care, and certainly in the physio world, is you come in, you talk about the problem and look for a quick fix. I'll be honest, 15 to 20 years ago, it was all about the quick fix. It was all about getting the ultrasound machine on it, the TENS machine, maybe a little bit of cracky, clicky type stuff in the neck to get things all happening. But what we know now about chronic pain is that, it takes a while to develop. So it actually requires, in order to get chronic pain, it requires your brain to change. So it becomes more sensitive to different types of stimulus, so that basically, when you're tired, you get a headache as opposed to you didn't before. When you're bending forward, you might have pain for a few hours after doing that, rather than just being able to bend forward without an issue. What we know now about chronic pain is that it's absolutely individual to you, okay? So no two people are different. Sorry, no two people are the same, of course. No two people are the same. Everybody is different. So what that means is that you need a plan of attack for you to get this right. Because if you just roll out a recipe plan, a plan that is just, off the, out of the recipe book, everyone gets the same thing, it's all really, really, it's basically what I like to call MIC physio. It's conveyor belt physio. It's physio off the conveyor line. Everyone gets the same thing. However, what we know is that everyone is a different person. So you need an individualized treatment plan to get that going. Now, what the treatment plan looks like is that basically you sit down, you tell us about what the issue is, you talk to your physio about what the problems are, we discuss what the roadblocks are, what might restrict you from having treatment for whatever reason, what's worked before, what hasn't. So actually we're taking care of all the things that haven't worked in the past. We're not leading down a garden path. What we do is we diagnose what the issue actually is. So we go through and of course go, right, this is the most likely thing that it can be based on our years of experience, based on the research, based on everything that your symptoms are telling us. And this is the plan of attack, and you develop a plan from that. Now, here's the most important word in the status that you might have seen. The word that is most important is dynamic treatment plan. Okay, so we know we're not Nostradamus, we're not mind readers, we're not people that can predict the future 100% accuracy. There's always a chance that what's diagnosed at the start, which looks like condition X, might actually be condition Y, and it doesn't become apparent until you have 2 or 3 treatments to see if we're actually getting a response from a treatment. Now, here's the thing: a lot of the time, a lot of people are one-trick ponies, and they treat only one thing their way, one way, and that is it. And as Einstein has said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So what a dynamic treatment plan is basically if we're finding that within 3 or 4 sessions things aren't going so great, it's not changing, or it's not changing to the how can I put it, to the extent that we would expect it to, like from what we've all seen. So we'd expect, for example, for a headache and migraine condition, that within 4 or 5 sessions that you're getting quite significant relief from it. Also with low backs, using the Med-X machine, we'd expect within 3 or 4 sessions that things are really starting to kick along really nicely. If that's not happening, then it means we're dealing with something else. So we might be dealing with, rather than a purely musculoskeletal condition, we're dealing with something that's more to do with the way the brain is interpreting information. So we may need to do some brain retraining with some other techniques to get things going before we go back to doing some more strength work or movement. So what's key to this is that not only do you have a treatment plan which spells out exactly what's going to happen over the next little while about your treatment, that there's also plan B, plan C and plan D in place should things not go right. So if something doesn't quite work out the way that we wanted it to, then we can do something different different. If things are actually responding a lot better than what we'd expect, then it means we can change the plan as well. So it's really, really important day one to get a really full history out to the person that you're talking to. Our initial consults are an hour long so that we're getting all of the information out, and quite often we do see people, and if you're one of those people that's seen us before, type in below about this, where if it's a really complicated case where there's a lot of complex pain issues, complex health issues, we will actually extend that initial consult often across 2 days, 2 hours, not charge you any more, to actually get to the bottom of the case. Because what we know is that diagnosis is the most important thing. If you get the diagnosis as right as possible, as early as possible, it means you get the treatment as early as possible, you get the right treatment as early as possible, you get the results as fast as you can. We know that if you're just going, okay, you've got a sore neck, let's just do this, and not actually deal with if it's the joint, if it's the muscle, if it's a nerve, if there's a little bit of neural system issues, if there's some sensitization going on. If you're not dealing with all those things on day one, you can't actually put in place a treatment plan that actually does the job. You're actually just hitting and hoping rather than taking all the information in and putting together a proven plan for you individually to get the best result. And of course, as I said before, if the plan isn't working, then at 4 sessions or 7 sessions, knowing how your condition individually responds, we can change the plan if we need to, because we've got all different tools, all different strategies to actually change the plan should we need to. So for people with chronic headache, low back pain, shoulder pain, it doesn't really matter what the condition is. If it's chronic, it means it's been there for quite some time. So it's going to need a plan of attack from you, from us, to talk about how the best treatment is going to go. So what's going to happen? Will things get worse before they get better? Will things hurt? If it hurts, does it mean it's a bad thing? What questions do you want us to answer? So there's all these sorts of things that need to go into the plan to make sure that you get the best result. And when it comes to it, a lot of clinicians don't do this. A lot of clinicians don't actually write down what the plan is. It is now best standard practice that on day one you get a treatment plan and you get it fully spelled out as to how things are going to go. That is the best evidence. That is now the gold standard when it comes to physiotherapy practice. If it's not there, if you're not getting it, then it's not best practice. You need to have a plan, you need to have it open, you need to have it dynamic so that should anything go wrong, should anything change, should any circumstances change, then we can change the plan for you. Because when it comes down to it, it's what we call an N=1 experiment. It is one person, one intervention at a time to actually get the best results for you. And that's the way that we operate every single day here, because we know that when it comes to difficult, complex cases, it's all about getting the diagnosis right, having a plan in place and making sure that the plan can change at any time should it's not going well. And basically there is plenty of opportunity for us in every session, in fact, to tell us how things are going. We're big enough and ugly enough to take it. So it's really, really important to get the plan and get it all right. I hope that's been really helpful today. I just want to share a little bit more about that because it's rare, it's actually not as common as you'd think in physiotherapy practice to actually sit down, get the diagnosis out and actually get a treatment plan. All the time it's all about, just come back in 2 weeks or, come back in 2 days. Let's see how it's all going in a couple of days' time, rather than actually getting a firm plan in place to to show how things can actually get better in the best possible time frame. I hope that's been helpful for you Monday. There's a few more things coming up this month. National Pain Week is coming up in a couple of weeks' time, where I'll be doing live videos every day in prime time. I'll be doing it from the comfort of my dining room, so we get more reach and you can ask me questions as we go, so look out for that. Hope that's been helpful. If there's any questions, as usual, type in the comments below and I'm more than happy to answer them for you. And we will see you again later in the week for another Facebook Live video. Cheers and bye for now.